Viewer discretion is advised.
Like, this is kind of tertiary to it. Like, it's kind of something afterwards, like, before we get into the episode. Like, is it weird that they're showing the Fear the Walking Dead now? Am I the only person that thought that was weird?
Wait, as in, like, trailers?
No, like, I mean, like, right now, like, how they usually have the show, and then they have, The Talking Dead, and then usually after that, they run a repeat of the episode from the day, but they're starting to do reruns of Fear the Walking Dead instead, up until, like, the premiere of April 10th.
So you think it's like more than product placement, or?
It seems like they're doing it to, like, they're quote unquote, like, they're calling it like a recap or something, but it's just like legit playing the episodes again. So what it feels like to me is they're basically doing like a gonna run through the whole season, and then like it'll end before April 10th when the season 2 starts, and then they'll have like they'll go right into it. So I get that they're doing it for that way, but it just seems odd because like why wouldn't you, like, it's just I don't know, like I don't know, what do you think about doing a run up of that show concurrently while Walking Dead is going on? I don't know, like it's a little weird to me. I think I don't know.
Do you think it's too much zombies?
Kind of. And also it's like when else are they run the episode before the new episode, right? So if you missed it, you can catch up beforehand, but it was always nice to have like that safety net of like, oh shit, I missed the episode, I can just catch it on at 11,
Yeah.
like it was nice to have that, whereas right now where it's like Fear the Walking Dead is really not what I would want to watch. Like I feel like pimp the thing that you have that's going on now before you start hyping it up for this new thing. Like it makes me wonder how Fear the Walking Dead did that they have to kind of go that hard into it.
That's exactly, yeah. That's what I was gonna ask. Do you know anything about how it was rated? If a lot of people watched it, because obviously they're trying to drum a pipe for it. But yeah, like you said, usually how they just play the previous week's episode before the new episode. But it seems like they're trying to push the Fear the Walking Dead. Maybe because it wasn't rated that high.
They're trying to remind people of the potential.
I mean, anecdotally, a lot of my friends who post on Facebook or social media in general, were like lukewarm with Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah,
So,
general knowledge that I got from it. I mean, general response that people didn't like it too much, man.
That was kind of the response that I felt like a lot of people had to it too. Like it didn't seem like people were too into it. Like I'm assuming it still did okay, because I mean obviously like Walking Dead is so huge that I just feel like it would be surprising if it totally bombed. But at the same time too, like I didn't remember hearing anyone say anything like this is amazing, or like I don't know, no one was really like too hyped on even the second season happening. It's in a really weird place.
yeah.
Sad thing was for me that most people that I talked to like really lost it at the same point. Episode 4, like I couldn't get past, like I got up to like episode 4, and that was pretty much it for me. And when I thought that was like around the time where it started picking up.
Right. I mean, I stuck with it to the end, and honestly, when all is said and done, I didn't hate it. Like I thought it was all right, but I do feel like they kind of rushed through a certain number of things, and that like it certainly could have been better, especially considering the whole original material and everything that they had going for it, and like seeing the beginning of the apocalypse and everything. Like it could have been interesting. So I guess that's where the disappointment on my end lies, is that it had a lot of potential that it didn't really live up to.
Yeah, I know. I personally wanted to see more of society falling apart as they're coming to the news of what's going on, or even like society falling apart around the town that we're in, to see how they deal with that, and then to more of that.
Right, because it just kind of fell apart between episodes. Like one episode had like, whatever. It's like, oh, things happened and they were in the house, and then there was like a little short time skip, and next thing you know, like the government was in there and everything. Like it was very weird with the pacing of it. Like they just very blatantly
next
skipped
season
it,
they're already gone. They left their area already. That's
oh really? Yeah, because they're on the boat now or something, right?
Yeah, they met up with the dude that the kid, I forgot what his name, the son, when he was caught.
Nick.
Right.
Nick, yeah, when Nick was caught with the black guy. So now they're with him in his house, and but they're gonna go from there. Remember, they had a shot. He shot the wife, the ex-wife, the kid's
Right.
mom.
I remember that now.
Liza. I think
I
her
actually
name
really
was.
liked Nick. I thought, yeah. That. I like Nick. I thought he was probably one of the stronger parts of that series, to be honest. Like, I don't know, he was probably, I think that was the other thing too, is it wasn't really the not to say that all the actors are bad or anything like that, but it's very, like, some of the performances was very wooden. It was weird. It was a very strange thing to watch at that point, you know? I think Nick really kind of, he sold it though, that actor, especially like the whole drug addict thing and everything he had going on for it.
Yeah.
He had that walk down perfectly.
Yeah, in the beginning of the episode, I didn't like him too much, but as time went on, I liked this character more and more. I want to
Right.
see.
Definitely grew on me.
I like the dynamic at the end of how in the beginning how he was always living this hell on earth, and then at the end when his mom spoke to him, I forgot what the
Beautiful.
conversation was, but he says, "Now you're just living." She was asking him about how he was feeling or something. He was like,
Yeah.
"You guys are living my world now."
Welcome to
pretty much.
my world now.
So I
Right.
I like that. But on the discussion of relationship building though, to go back to I jumped to The Walking Dead actually.
What is this, a segue? You had such an ill segue, and then you were like, you should just went with it, man. Believe in yourself.
No, but that's the natural part of ongoing discussions that I've been recording this whole time. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, shit.
because there's a lot we could talk about Fear the Walking Dead, and then a couple weeks ago when we spoke about time limits, because we could talk for fucking hours. You know what I mean?
What it is though, dude? You know, we do what we do.
So let's just go straight into The Walking Dead with relationships. Abraham. I'm liking how they're building him up. They're building his character a bit, but usually when they do that kind of stuff, it doesn't lead to happy endings.
Right.
So Abraham, I don't think he's gonna be around for too much longer.
Yeah, they're
but,
about to seal this doom.
yeah,
As soon
They
as
setting that up with a lot of characters though.
yeah. But Abraham, this was like I feel like this was Abraham's, because we didn't really know too much about him, you know. And
They went
then-
hard.
And
on
he's at
Abraham.
the tough point right now. He's at like the crossroads that everybody's been coming to. Like they're either gonna find what everybody's searching for, the thing that everyone's searching for now currently in this new world, the love, the rebuilding, the reason to live forward. He's maybe got baby fever right now. He was given the actual symbol of love, the necklace from Rosita. And then he loses it later on and doesn't realize it. He kind of gets caught. He gets caught in tough spots where he is thinking about the love, and is that making him weak, or is it him realizing what the situation is? He starts asking about pregnancy and the possibilities.
It's funny how he goes to different groups to ask. When he asked Daryl was just real cold about it. He was real. What are you talking about? This world isn't even settled.
Right.
And then when he went to Glenn, obviously him and Maggie are having a kid, so that response was different.
Right.
But I tell you, Abraham, he's in, foreshadowing aside, he's in a good spot. He has options.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in an otherwise terrible, terrible world.
Oh man, poor guy.
You know, they kept bringing up the wife thing too, which I thought was interesting because, like, that's a lot of the feeling I got from him too when that one guy almost died, and he's like, Doug, no, not Douglas, the dude that they saved like before Abraham, like when they were in that room, the building.
Yeah,
I don't remember what his name was, Frederick or something like that. But he goes and he's like, I saw her, like, she died before everything happened, whatever. I saw her, and then like you kind of saw like Abraham's face with that, and then later on when he's kind of getting choked out, where he's like really not fighting back too much, and he just kind of leaves it with like this sense of like euphoria, like I feel like they were also kind of going that route with it too, where it wasn't just like relationships things, but like right, it's like if I die, it's all good, whatever. I'll see my wife.
Like he's come to terms, like he's come to terms with things.
Exactly. Which is interesting. That can go a lot of places, especially with all the other stuff going on. And then it was immediately after that where he kind of leaves behind the necklace, where he doesn't really notice it so much because he's too much like worried about, or like you said, at peace with it and kind of more concerned with the wife and everything. Like it leads it to be more of like, is it going to be relationship drama, or is it just going to be like the removal of himself from relationships in general? Like, because now, like, is it going to be that sort of drama,
I feel like that could have been, symbolic for that was his shield right there.
Mm-hmm.
That was his shield, and that he lost his. When I think of somebody giving you that, like that's their protection for you. They give you that And in regards to here, I send my love with you. This is a symbol of my love, my strength that we carry. You carry this with you. And
Right.
if he loses that thing, that could be the symbol that I'm talking about. Is that could be ominous towards, you know, the possible end to his story arc right there.
Definitely, you know, and you got to factor in too, like, you know. Well, here's another question I have actually, is because I feel like I missed it or I'm not remembering it. What was the context in which he was given the necklace? Like, was it something that meant something to Rosita, or was it?
Nah, it was just something she made.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was from the tail light.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was just a nice gesture, you know, that
Yeah, that's
that
what
she
it was.
that he means something to her, you know.
Here's my love. Here's a gesture of my love.
Yeah, right. And then that's why she was like, "Show it to me." And that after that, then she went to the shower, etc.
Oh, I thought they were gonna creep. They crept low on that one.
Oh, I thought we were gonna see butt
I
crack.
thought, so did I for a second there. So did I. I thought they would test that. I thought they would dare.
I mean, all things considered, they could. It's not like they couldn't.
Yeah, no, for sure. I thought we were gonna see Rick and Michonne's butt crack last week, or when
True.
you know, when I afterwards when I went back to check the episode, because remember I missed that
Yeah.
part. I thought, because you know, when you guys said that they were completely naked, I thought they had actually shown it, you know.
Mhm.
But no, they did the cutoff. But so Jesus, how you guys feeling about Jesus after this episode?
He's a double agent.
You still got a bad feeling about him?
No, I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm kind of trying to keep it open-minded with Jesus because he could possibly be a double agent.
It's true. You can't trust anyone.
He could possibly
But
be a double
if-
agent, man.
Right now, he looks like he's trustworthy, but still, you can't trust anyone. I don't know.
Maybe he's on the fence still because he does work for Negan, and his job is to expand and take territories. Because I got a feeling Negan, like, they have a compound, but that's mainly like just where they stay. From everything I've gathered from Negan's group, is that, you know, they're bikers, so they're most likely roamers. They're most likely, you know, they move about, or they have one central location, but they move about, seeing what they can take.
Right,
Well,
they
didn't
have
it
different
say,
communities too that they reach out to?
That they reach
Right.
out to, but you know, they mainly just reach out to take and grab.
Well, didn't they say in this episode though that they had outposts?
And but there you go, right there. So maybe Jesus, this is all speculation right now.
Right.
Maybe Jesus is actually, he's a device to actually take another outpost, and they set him up. They planted him in. What did they give a name to the town? To the place. I don't know if
Hilltop.
there was a name to it, but they set him up there to actually take another outpost. And maybe he's the one that moves about and
He's
takes
like
the
the-
outpost.
He's the market, the salesman. You know, he's the guy.
I
He's the
mean,
plant. The
he's
guy
the-
that they put into
Yeah, the
each
plant.
town,
Maybe
you
he
know?
could actually be the spearhead, you know?
Right. I hear what you're saying though. I feel like you know, with the way that they built it and everything, it really got the sense more of like you know, like you said, Jesus is kind of very trustworthy with it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if they've really been taking in other people. I know that when Jesus is introduced and everything, he kind of said that he goes out to kind of like recruit and find people and whatever, or like scavenge and stuff. But when he said this episode, made it get like more of a sense of like the people that are here have been the only ones that have been here. Like they've been here since the beginning because people kind of flock to the house because it's like such a historic monument and everything that people kind of knew of its existence.
Yeah.
So like people just kind of came to them. So I don't know if they really necessarily had anyone, but I guess maybe that would have been the way you're saying he would have infiltrated, was he just kind of came. But it feels like the way they brought it up was like the people that have been there have kind of been there since the beginning, and they kind of know them very well. I also feel like if they had that agreement with Negan, then like why even bother having a spy anymore at that point? Because you're already getting half of their stuff for nothing.
Because if you think about it, that guy, what's his name, Greg? Yeah, he's the supposed leader, but he's always been, you know, he was the last piece to take that area. He was the last thing standing in the way for Jesus to finally grab that piece for Negan's group. I mean, this is all just speculation, of course, but you know,
I mean, it's
just to refute what you're saying. You know, I got to play devil's advocate for the macabre here, you know.
No, definitely. There's nothing.
But God bless him, man. Hopefully he's a nice guy. Hopefully everything works out with Jesus, man. I want to see good things happen.
He's Jesus. Wouldn't it be a fun thing if they made Jesus an evil character? Like, you respect him. His name's Jesus. He's gonna be trustworthy and everything. And it's like, nah, he's actually Negan. Yeah, it'd be fucked up, right? You wouldn't expect it. That'd be all over the news.
If they did make him evil at this point, it would just, I don't know, it would just be a bad setup, I think.
I think so too. Like, it would be kind of whack to have him be like an infiltration type thing. Like, I feel like to take this at face value is like the way to go, just because otherwise it would be like a little cheap drama type deal.
Yeah.
Like, to have him have, like, you know, I think that they've done a nice thing with it being like broadening the world, but now all of a sudden it's not just that there's one community, there's at least two more, you know, and you have a whole opportunity of trade and all these other things going on. And within one episode, like, you've tripled the cast, you know what I mean? Like, now you have all these other people and this community and everything. Like, they were like, we have
dropping bombs.
But if you,
right.
but why not name, if he is the bad guy, for lack of a better term, why not name yourself Jesus? Like, that's such an inviting name. Like, oh, we could trust him. His name's fucking Jesus. You know,
Because
like,
we have Negan already.
why not? Why not let him in? You know, why not? Why not let him in? You know, and why not? Why you're not gonna name yourself Lucifer if you're gonna try and go out there and take everybody's shit? You know, you're gonna name yourself more of an inviting character name. You know, you're gonna give yourself more of a sweet name, humble name that everybody can believe in.
I hear that. Be like, oh, my name's Jesus. You know, I'm coming here with peace, and he even has cultivated the look and everything. You know, it's like, why not?
It's not like my name's Dickhead. Trust me. You know.
True.
My name's asshole.
It's like, come on, circular logic, right? It's like that's what you got to kind of figure too. It's like, everyone's gonna trust me. My name's Jesus, but then they're gonna think that it's a ploy. So I'm gonna name myself like Jerkface, so that if I go in there, I'm just be like, oh, well, his name's Jerkface.
It's the reverse mind game.
You know, it's what it is. You gotta play 10th dimensional chess. Is what you gotta be playing. It's, you gotta think about it. And you know, man. Can't take it the way it is, right? And you gotta take into consideration that when they said Negan's group, they were called the Saviors. I mean, they called the Saviors.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's what I'm saying. You just proved my point right there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man,
the Saviors.
See,
man.
I was
send Jesus out.
I was on the fence. You know, I was more on the side of Jesus is a good guy, but after that, I don't know.
Thank you. I was gonna get to that. I got notes here. You want to read my notes? And Jesus was also crucified on the hilltop. You know, and they're on the hilltop right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
I feel like it would be like, just to kind of like take it back a little bit to just talking about Jesus a little more. You have now set up two groups, and you very clearly have one that's bad, and now you have to have one that's also good, right? So like at that point too, I think you have to kind of take it where it's like, all right, Jesus is probably trustworthy. You've kind of saw that Douglas is a little bit of a wimp, and he's kind of an asshole, and like even Jesus kind of like, yeah, he's the leader just kind of because he is, like no one actually really likes him, and like he tried to like roll over Maggie and all this other stuff.
I thought his name was Greg.
Gregory. Yeah, Gregory. Douglas was probably the guy that they saved. I don't know. You heard a whole bunch of fucking names now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
anymore.
terrible with the names.
Yeah, it was Gregory.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know what? We're gonna call him Douglas because he called Maggie Natalie. So we'll go with that.
Man, he's hitting on a pregnant woman, man.
Oh yeah, he didn't even care. He told him to his face. He's like, "We're gonna pimp you out." But they kind of showed that Gregory was like a little bit of a pushover. Like he tried his best to kind of steamroll over Rick's group, but didn't really go anywhere, you know. And at the end of the day, he still ended up like getting kind of like strong armed by Maggie. And I feel like they're kind of setting up that if there's anyone that's going to be the bad guy from that group, it would eventually be him, because I don't think he's going to have control over that group for very long. Like that just kind of comes from the place of them saying like no one actually wants him as a leader. And then just thinking about the fact that he's been like, when they brought up everything that happened with Negan, it's like Negan just kind of came and then he just steamrolled us and said, we're taking half your stuff. And then he acquiesced. Like they killed a dude, like killed a kid, but like he didn't really put up a fight. He was just kind of like, all right, so you'll take all of our stuff. Fine. You'll take half our stuff. No problem. Like, you know, it seemed like there was kind of some dissent in that decision in and of itself.
Yeah, yeah. When I saw how small their setup was, I figured they're probably gonna integrate into Rick's group. But yeah, so you guys think Abraham's biting the bullet? Because I remember previous, what was it, last week? You were talking about Negan, or the first episode of this, Steve. That how you brought up Negan's gonna have to come through strong. So, and then that's when we were in favor of Abraham, saying, you know, he is a good character that they can use for that, where we would miss him, I guess. And after this past episode, they did build him up some more, a little bit, you know, having us like him a little bit more.
They endeared him to our hearts even more.
Yeah. But then again, you never know. It could be a Glenn or something.
Oh God.
I mean, it could be like it's weird because like it could be Daryl. You know, like there's so many characters that are just kind of there. Like I mean, if you want to make a big impact, like
Yeah.
you know, I think Daryl would be probably the biggest because he's such a huge fan favorite and everything. Like it would be a big deal. So is Glenn though, but they kind of they muddied the waters with that this season by the whole like, is he dead, and like the whole dumpster thing and everything. You know. It would be cheap if not all of a sudden they killed him now. Like it's like we spent how many episodes this season worrying about whether or not he was dead.
Dumpsters are different down south.
Glenn has like 2 more seasons after actually probably at least 1 more after what happened the beginning of the season.
He's got to see
Right?
it, baby.
It's true.
But then wouldn't it be fucked up if he didn't? What if fucking Maggie bites it? What if Glenn lives but Maggie gets killed? And then they killed a woman with a fucking baby.
And then they finally killed the baby the way they were with Judith.
Or Glenn
right.
kills himself
Oh,
because they
no.
killed Maggie, and that was it for him. And we never would expect that from Glenn. But all the times he survived, all the zombies he made it through, he's the one that decides, fuck it,
Oh, wow.
I can't take it anymore.
That's just twisted enough to work right there.
Could be. Maybe Negan makes Glenn kill Maggie.
She's the puppet. She's the plant.
Maggie?
No, Eden. Enid.
Maybe.
Maybe. Could be.
Bro.
Wait, did you say Negan or Enid?
Enid.
Steve.
He said Negan.
I said Enid.
You did? Oh,
You
no.
said the plant and you said Enid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were both talking at the... Yeah. I'm telling you. It's a possibility.
What, you think Enid's Negan?
No. She's the plant from
She's
Negan.
The plant. Enid is...
I'm saying you're the one that
Finkel
said
is
that
Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
everybody's Negan.
Who is
Rick
Negan?
Negan.
Who is Negan? Who is the Matrix?
He's really Dr. Manhattan. They bridge the universes between Walking Dead and Watchmen. I tell you though, the little moments in the show, the cinematography is awesome. How they zoom in on Abraham's eyes real close, you know. Glenn and Maggie when they're seeing the sonogram.
Right.
All those little camera shots. I love it all.
Cinematech, baby. The
awesome.
Cinematech.
Mm-hmm.
It's masterful.
So Rick asking this guy if they need him to come into to show them Negan's layout. How did you interpret that moment? Do you think we can trust this guy? What do you think's going through his head?
I don't think we can trust this guy at all. Like I don't think that he really like. I mean, all he knows about Rick is like he got into that scuffle, and he killed a dude. Like he didn't really know nothing about him at all. So I think like if there's anyone that's gonna kind of betray, you know, Team Alexandria squad or whatever, I think it'd probably be him. But I also don't really know like to what degree does he know the layout. Like, that's the thing. Like, are they going for the hideout or are they going for an outpost? Like, what is it they're trying for here necessarily? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're very quickly going to get in over their heads and that this guy isn't going to be as much help as they want him to be, you know?
He'll be that you're thinking, well, yeah, I remember, Jay, I was talking to you about this previously. You think like he'll probably be the guy that falls through, right?
That's what I think. As I think like he'll probably be. I'm imagining a scenario like they go to the outpost and things go awry and they have an opportunity to maybe do some sort of a deal or something, or they offer one, and he betrays them and like fucks over Team Rick somehow, so that he either jumps ship to the Savior's side because like he doesn't really have any loyalty to them at all. Really, he has no reason to. And if he offers them any sort of like protection regarding like, we're going to forget that Hilltop was involved with this if you like give us like like, you know, point a gun at Rick or some shit, you know, like I just imagine that sort of scenario kind of being what comes up. I don't think it'll end well for that guy, but I feel like it'll probably be that's the role that he plays. I would like it if it ends up being that he ends up being like an actual new cast member with a name and everything, but just the vibe that I get off him is like he's gonna be like the first one there to kind of like run back and be like, oh, I things were good in Hilltop. We had a deal. We were all set. So like I have no reason to like care about you guys at all. So as far as I'm concerned, if they're gonna offer me any sort of protection at all, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I don't get a vibe from him of being helpful. At the same time, too, like I feel he'll probably be helpful enough until like the chips fall down, and then that's when he'll be like, all right, so you know, I have no allegiance to you. I'm out. You know, that's where I kind of see that going.
Yeah, the way I saw that moment was just not that he was just gonna immediately want to betray them, just that he'll just be a loose tie. You know, he's gonna be the thing that falls apart for them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it too, honestly. It's like I don't think he's gonna go out and out like, you know, like whatever, I'm gonna screw you guys over or anything like that. But I think as soon as like the opportunity comes, he's gonna jump on it. He's just gonna go for it. Which is like, you know, I understand where he'd be coming from, you know, it's like I wouldn't. What end does he have to trust like Rick's group? He doesn't know him from a hole in the wall, and all he knows is like they killed one of his dudes. One of the things I really liked about this episode in general, and why I think that like this episode was really good, was they moved things along at a good clip. So there was probably, like, if you asked me last week, I would have said that this episode would have ended much later with them saying like the whole world was going to be like your whole world's about to get bigger. I thought that would have been something that they probably would have like put not necessarily at the end of the episode, but I thought that would have been something that would have dragged on. And then I thought they would have like dragged them going to Hilltop. But like they kind of like expedited everything and they went through it very quickly, and like they were just like, we don't need to drag out like the false, like, you know, like obviously you have the setup of the car and everything, and that gives you some slight pause. But at the end of the day, it's like we don't need to spend a couple of episodes spinning our wheels on this because we actually have a purpose and the direction that we want to drive the story into. And like I really appreciated that because like at the end of the day, I really don't need them giving me these indicators of like, you know, like if Jesus and their group are going to be good guys, just get to the point and establish them as good guys already. You know what I mean? Don't waste time on like red herring and like false like pretenses of like, well, maybe they set things up, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of like you're gonna put that in there to like maybe drive some drama of the episode, but don't spend episodes on that.
Right.
You know,
Maybe they're just weeding out the bad fruits right now. You know, getting rid of all the bad elements.
right? Which I don't mind at all. You know, it makes things go. It's much more enjoyable that way because like I said, like last week, if you'd asked me, I think I had a good idea of what they would have ended this season on, but it seems like things are going faster, and I don't know if that's going to necessarily be the case. I think that thing might happen a little bit sooner rather than later. Like it remains to be seen how things go between 2 points, but I really do feel like I was very happy with it because like if you had asked me, I would have said like, you know, getting to Hilltop would have probably been its own episode. Would have had like, do we really trust like, you know, like the Jesus thing? And it's like I feel like they knew that those were retreads. We don't need to worry about that shit anymore. It's not interesting or like good television, you know? And like even the like, you know, like the conversation between like Jesus and Rick where he's like, you know, things aren't as simple all the time. Like it wasn't really like it was very upfront, and it was just kind of like, yeah, you know, like things aren't that good. And like they got to the point where it's like, you know, like he came up and he killed the dude, and then like he kind of threatened us, and Gregory said okay because he didn't want to deal with the threats and he is weak and all of this other stuff. And like they just kind of like they didn't drag out the reveal of what their thing is. It's very much like, no, I'm being very open with you. It's like one of the things I really appreciate about Jesus too, where like he's like, no, I want you to bring the guns in because I trust you guys. I want you to trust us. You know, so I want to do this thing to show you it. Like a lot of them things that he does are like gestures and things to kind of like build all of this trust. Like a really good thing to have, because at the same time, like I feel like most viewers at this point would be in the same situation where they'd be like, do we really trust Jesus and everything? But he's doing all of these things that I think it's kind of like, no, this is really going to be a different story. It's not going to be the same story that we've told like 4 times already in the series at this point.
He's trying to raise us up. He's trying to grow us. You know, he's been dealing with the outside world, and we're as the Alexandrians, we're trying to come out of our shell again, and he's trying to show us that we can come out of our shell because, you know, it's all about expanding. This world, this world needs to expand in order to become a semblance of what we once were, a civilization.
Right, and that's like the end goal now, which is why like even Rick is kind of like, you know, he's not in the situation he was at when he saw like what was it, like the group beforehand, like even before the wolves, like the cannibals and everything, like it was kind of like, I don't trust these people at all, and he was very murderous and all this other stuff. Like even when he met the Alexandrians, where he's kind of like, you know, these people have something, and if they don't use it, we're gonna take it. Like he's kind of like really, you've seen the growth of him as a character too, towards that person who's like, we need to actually build a real world, you know?
Yeah. So without further ado, this was episode 3 of Day After Dead podcast from myself, FUNKNOWN, with Asadasa and J. You can reach me at @UnknownIXI at Twitter. You can see this episode on YouTube, youtube.com/IXI Club. And also we have an IXI Club at IXI Club for Twitter.
I am at Asadasa on Twitter. It's ASADASA.
3 ways of doing things: the right way, the wrong way. Check your tech.
Motherfucker.
Check your tech.
Yo, check
I'm Jay,
your tech.
the symbol J.
Check your tech before you wreck yourself.
Check your tech before you lose your neck.
Oh shit! Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
Signing off.